Fun. We have a good time, though.
We have a great time.
So tonight we have an interesting show. Is it all there is about astrology? That's what we should look
That's
at.
it for right now.
That's
That's
enough.
plenty.
That's plenty. So then we talk about mantras, and our producer Renee really knows a lot more than I do about mantras. Kelly, you know a little bit about
A
mantras.
little bit because I worked with the guru, but Renee is the
Renee's really
expert.
the expert. So we're going to invite Renee in to tell everybody about mantras. Well, welcome,
And we
Renee.
should tell everybody about Renee's background.
Yes, yes.
Hi.
His background. Go right ahead, Kelly.
Well, Renee works with Deepak Chopra.
For how many
For,
years now? Over 10, 15 years, Deepak?
Yeah, 12, 13 years now, yeah.
Yeah.
amazing.
And tell us your background, Renee. Originally from Holland. We know you're a doctor.
Yes, I was. I moved in 2008 to the United States, and before that, I was. I lived in the Netherlands, and I lived in Belgium, and I was a podiatrist. Yeah, so I have a totally different career when I moved to the US. I
And
became.
excuse me, you're a Pisces, rules of feet.
I
Sorry.
am.
Yeah.
So true.
I am. Yes, my birthday is March 11th, Pisces. Correct. Yeah, so I made a huge, like many of us do in our lifetime, right? You just, something doesn't feel quite right, and for me it was like, the doctor's path. It was not fulfilling anymore, and I was missing something. So, and I didn't know what it was until I went to one of Deepak Chopra's events. My mother actually sent me, and I didn't even want to go. I was like, "It's spiritual stuff. Come on, But the thing is that once I dove into it and I opened my heart right to the teachings, I'm like, oh my gosh, there is so much value here. How is it possible that I've never seen this? And it opened myself up completely. And then as synchronicity has it, I met my wife at the Chopra Center,
Oh wow.
and then
Yeah.
and then when I moved to the United States, I actually helped out as a volunteer in the beginning for the Chopra events, the live events, and then interestingly enough, the person who did all the audio visual at the time, he fell in love at one of our events with a lady from Spain, and he was like, "I'm out." And then the Chopra Center had no audiovisual guy, and so they asked me and said, "Can you do this?" I'm like, I don't know, but I learned something about embracing uncertainty, step into the field of infinite possibilities and be open. So all these terms that I was very unfamiliar with, but then at that time I learned a lot about it. And I'm like, all right, I'll step into this field of infinite possibilities. And I jumped in head first, and I learned real quick. And and I've been doing all his live events ever since. And it's been an incredible blessing. Of course, with COVID, I had to change my careers a little bit because, the live events weren't there. So I moved into hosting online events and StreamYards, and that's when I had the blessing and the good fortune to meet the two of you, and now I'm doing a lot of background work for the two of you. I'm hosting your show.
We met the Chopra Center many, many years ago when you were still the AV guy there, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
And now I live about 2 blocks from where we met, living in Encinitas. So funny.
Yes, we've been neighbors, pretty much neighbors for many years. Yeah, that's so cool. So cool. Yeah, but coming back to the topic of the mantras, of course, because I did the teacher trainings at the Chopra Center, and I visited also many other teachers. And at the Chopra Center, Chopra offers a mantra-based meditation.
Yes.
And I was like, well, what in the world is a mantra, right? So, and that's the topic of today. And what it really means is mantra. You can split that up in two different parts. Man is from manas, is from the old Sanskrit term. Manas means mind, and tra means tool or vehicle.
Oh wow.
So it's a mind vehicle or a mind tool.
Interesting.
And
it's great.
As many of our listeners and viewers probably know, because I know that a lot among you who are watching YouTube meditate, have a meditation practice. So a lot of you probably know what a mantra does and how it works. But I think it's helpful maybe to also discuss today, like, how does that work? How do you use it? And what can you use it for? Right?
Mhm.
So, yeah, I can elaborate a little bit more if you want about.
You're just curious about so a mantra, and a mantra can be any phrase, if you will, or any sound, right? That really resonates within you, and it can take you into, I guess you'd say, a journey or deeper spaces of concentration, right? And just focusing. Would you
Yeah.
say would be it? So the breath and the mantra, repeating that mantra over and over again, kind of brings you into another kind of space, I guess, an altered state of consciousness sometimes, certain space.
Yeah.
We go there in all different ways, but a mantra I found when I was first beginning, my mantra was a visual mantra, and my visual was a rose, and the rose would open up every time I'd sit in a circle. I'd visualize that rose opening up and saying prayer. So that was my mantra. Yeah, it's interesting. And
Mhm.
Deepak, when I was with Deepak back in the center, they gave me, or he gave me, or someone there gave me my own personal mantra. And
Mhm.
how did that work, Renee? How does that work?
Yeah, that's what I did for years there. I've been teaching meditation for years at the center, and I gave people mantras. I gave hundreds and hundreds of mantras to
And
people.
how did you get to their mantra? How did you know which was their mantra?
Well, the Chopra Center's mantra is called the Primordial Sound Mantra. It's a very specific mantra. And again, you have thousands and thousands of mantra, and all of them are good, right? It's not one is better than the other. It's just that the lineage where Deepak comes from is from the Vedic tradition. And he met with his teacher, his guru in India, and he did a lot of research about, like, how can I bring the meditation to the West and use a simple tool for people to help with, with their anxiety, with their stress, with all depression, with PTSD, with all these things. How can I help? And in an easy way. And he said, he learned to use the primordial sound meditation, and that is actually based on your birthday and the location of your birth, where you were born. And why
Wow.
is that? That's because when you trace that back, as we know, and as the two of you always talk about, the universe is energy, right? It's an ever-changing energy field. It's a vibration. So the moment you came into existence, into this world, there was a certain vibration and certain energy, a certain primordial sound. Now, there is a calculation attached to this, and there is a formula attached to this. But in the Vedic tradition, what they did, and this goes back thousands of years ago, is they calculated the sound that the universe was making at the moment you were born. That is a given, and that becomes your mantra, your primordial sound mantra. It is
Wow.
pretty cool, because basically, when you start your meditation process, well, first of all, the reason why we use a mantra is because, as many of you know, the viewers, probably too, that when you start to meditate and you start to sit like this, and like, okay, I'm going to meditate. Now you sit here, and then you wait, and you say, like, I want a cup of coffee.
Yeah. The monkey
Oh, I forgot
mind.
the groceries.
Yeah.
And you're like, how long have I been meditating? So you have all these questions and all these thoughts come up, these random thoughts, they come out of nowhere. We're all aware of that, right? It drives us sometimes crazy too, because it's too much. And if you have a lot of negative thoughts, and which is, understandable, because the world, as you both always say, it's not an easy place to live in. So, but if the tendency is to have more negative thoughts than positive thoughts, we can slowly move into depression. We can slowly move into anxiety. And now a lot of people who are very caught up with all that, they reach out to places like, like you, James, like you, Kellee, like, what can I do? I'm depressed. And also the Chopra Center and many other places. And then the mantra, it comes in very handy right there, because when you go into your meditation practice and you have, of course, this train of thoughts, it's unstoppable, nor do you have to try to stop it. That's impossible. What you do is you introduce this mantra. Why? Because then your mind has something to land on. So we'll do at the end a short meditation, a Soham meditation, and that Soham.
Okay, let me interrupt you if I could. Excuse me. I know a lot of these people are watching right now and viewing this and thinking, how can I find my own my own mantra, and where would I go to do that? I don't think the Chopra Center does that anymore. Are there places that you know of that would do that for people?
Yeah, well, the Chopra Center actually does it online. So they have an online version now.
Perfect.
So yeah, if you go to chopra.com, you can do that. And you can
everybody that wants that, I knew people were asking that.
Yeah, for sure.
I was given one. I remember I was given one. And it was a big ceremony, too, when it was happening.
Yeah, there's a whole ceremony. But
that's
basically...
that's like I walked into Deepak's office with him after a big lecture that time I met you. And it's hundreds of books he's written. And I said, Deepak, this is we were reading for him, we were chatting about some stuff. I said, Deepak, do you realize how you've changed? This is how down to earth this man is. You've changed the world. Look at the books of how you've changed the world and opened people up. He said, would you mind if I go use the bathroom? I said, sure. Very down to earth, very real.
Very down to earth.
Yeah. Very real.
I see that Stormy, she says, I think this is yours, James, like healthy am I, happy am I, holy am I, right?
Yeah.
That's perfect mention. Oh, look, you have it.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I have the cups and I have it in notepads and all my students get this in my graduate.
And I have this. I got the cup.
And that came to me years ago. Spirit gave me that. Spirit gave me that.
I love it.
10 years, 12 years ago.
And that's an affirmation. Healthy am I. That's an affirmation. And I should point out there's a difference between an affirmation and a mantra. A mantra really goes back to some very sacred roots.
Sure. And Sanskrit and Vedic.
Yeah. The mantra is really to help quiet down the thoughts in the mind. Okay. Right? That's what the purpose of the mantra is, to just create, you could say, a pattern interrupt. Right? Rather than following these endless train of thought, which we all have, unavoidable. But what you want to do with the meditation is to quiet down these thoughts, to slow down, and for the mind to land on something. Your mantra can be very helpful, because what you do is you silently and effortlessly repeat this mantra over and over and over again. And then when your mind drifts away, which it will, to other thoughts, or to sensations, or to feelings, or perceptions, you notice that's fine. But what you do is you effortlessly bring your mind back to your mantra. And this dance you do over and over again. And eventually it becomes easier for the mind to rest on the mantra. And what then happens is you have brainwave coherence, your body starts to heal, your heart rate slows down, your immune system boosts, but it is all over time. This takes some getting used to and practice. Yeah.
Renee, I read that it actually boosts the production of nitrous oxide in the body.
Oh. Yeah, it does. It is unbelievable. And also when people want to do some research, there's lots of studies now too. I see that Missy says, is this the same as TM? TM is transcendental meditation. He's Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. Many of you probably know him. He brought meditation to the West. He had the Beatles and, all these famous people, Ram Dass, they all were with the TM. Deepak comes from the TM too. But this is a little bit different than the TM meditation. But TM is also a beautiful organization.
And you're going to share with us at the end of tonight, you're going to share a mantra meditation for everybody here tonight. So Renee's going to do that before we end this evening. So make sure you stay here for that, because that'll be pretty incredible.
So what I'm going to do now is I'll lead everybody into a short meditation, a few minutes, and we will use the mantra Soham. Soham is a widely known mantra. It means I am, or I am that. And this particular mantra is paired with the breath. So a lot of mantras you can just repeat silently and effortlessly, but this one is paired with the breath, which means that when you inhale, you silently say so, and when you exhale, and silently think hum. So and actually, when you listen, you can actually listen that your breath is making that sound. It's very, very interesting.
And do you inhale through your nose and exhale out of your mouth, or how do you, is that how you do the breathing?
Yeah, you can do it either way. You can breathe whatever is most effortlessly for you at this moment. But I would recommend breathing into the nose and out to the mouth. But if you want to breathe through your nose, that's totally fine. Yes. So, yeah, the most important thing is make yourself comfortable. So for those of you who are watching or in the car or whatever, don't get yourself in trouble. So, but get in a comfortable position, okay? And then take a minute or so to really calm down. We start with some effortless breathing. You can go ahead and close your eyes. And then we'll start with the breath. And on the inhalation, silently repeat so. And on the exhalation, silently repeat hum. So, hum. Now it's important for you to find your own rhythm, your own pace. And again, sit comfortably. Start just breathing effortlessly. And allow your breathing to be normal and not controlling it in any way. Be aware of the breath, not focusing or concentrating, just simply observing as it naturally flows in and out. And on the inhalation, silently think to yourself, so. And on the exhalation, hum. Let go, relax a little bit more. Let go of any tension in your shoulders, in your back, in your stomach area. Give yourself permission to take a few minutes of just being with yourself. And when you notice, and inevitably it will, that your mind wanders off to thoughts or to feelings or to sensations, simply bring it back to the mantra. So, hum. Now resting even deeper. Rest. Relax. Right now, your heart rate slows down. The immune system is boosting. All your cells in your body start to communicate in a better way, effortlessly. Relax. You might find, actually now, you might find or notice a spaciousness inside yourself. An openness. Openness is usually overshadowed by all the doings, the thinkings, the feelings, the actions. But notice that there is also an openness and spaciousness now. Inhale, so. Exhale, hum. Noticing your body quieting down. Trust that right now there is deep healing taking place inside of you. So, hum. I am, which means I am connected with everything in the universe. At the core of my being, I am the universe. Rest even deeper. So, hum. But the stillness that you are aware of now, that you're noticing now, was always present. This field of infinite possibilities is always present in your life. You are an infinite being. It's only the mind that puts up the limitations and constrictions. At the core of your being, you are totally free. Always. Now, in a moment, when we come out of the meditation, we will, of course, resume our daily lives, everything that we need to do. But every once in a while during the day, remind yourself that you are whole, you are free, you are a spiritual being having a temporary human experience. You are infinitely creative. If you remind yourself a few times during the day, slowly, surely, this innate wisdom will come back to the surface again. And it will start to serve you very well during your life. You start to feel much more connected with the spiritual side of you. Now you can let go of the mantra, so hum, and just rest. Just sit here for a moment. And then whenever it feels comfortable, you can slowly open your eyes. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Renee.
Great.
Wow. Wow.
A lot of people always say to me, "I don't want to come back." Now I understand.
And now I right? So
Right.
true. Wow, everybody is saying thank you. Thank you, Renee. That was really wonderful.
Thank you. Renee. I never get to receive. I was giving them. It's great to receive. It's great. I feel like it's falling into a
Oh,
trap. Yeah. Thank you. That was
everybody is saying thank you, Renee. That
Thank
everybody.
you.
And I
Thank you for
loved
the opportunity.
how you talked about, throughout the day, think of this and the infinite
Mhm.
possibilities.
Yeah, it's so hard, right? I mean, we know, and this is what you teach, and at the core of our being, we are spiritual beings. We are free. Our soul is free. And you both say that all the time. And for the mind, this is so hard and so difficult to comprehend. So in
Yeah.
order to do that, you need tools, because we're so caught up in our day-to-day business that the mind isn't even aware of our spiritual side anymore most of the time. So you need to come back. You need to come back. And James, that's what you do with all your courses. Every course that you do is a different avenue, a different path to come
true.
back to your spiritual side. And it's
True.
amazing.
Yeah.
You
All the
know,
way.
so it's so powerful. And Kellee, for you, the same thing. When you do all your readings, people are so much helped by it because you remind them of their spiritual
Yeah.
essence. That
Right. I think you're right, Renee. It reminds them that they are their souls, that that's their
yeah,
inheritance, that their spirit. That's what it reminds them. It's not
mhm,
us. It's helping them. Like I always say, holding a mirror up to you. Just
Right.
reflection of yourself. That's all we
yeah,
really do.
Right. Wow. That's
yeah,
so
wonderful.
wonderful. That was just wonderful. Gosh, Renee, thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Renee. Thank you
Of
very
course.
much.
Thank you for
Gosh.
the opportunity. Thank you.
You've been listening to Both Sides Now and Beyond, featuring spiritual medium and master teacher James Van Praagh and spiritual medium and psychotherapist Kellee White.
That was great. Maybe we changed some lives.
And maybe opened up some minds.
Which way do I turn?
Right. I mean left.